Is there life eternal? What is good? Alright. So, I have been asking myself, how does one ultimately settle for in their lifetime where they can ultimately think about how the world needs to work now and how it can realistically work in the future based on the development of things in the now or the shifting of the things to come, right? It's like we have been living in an incredibly defeatist language matrix of talking about all sorts of things, right? And it's a language matrix that is true. However, it is limited. And because it is true, and the way we can kind of it's just like one could say, I believe there are some who worship the truth, right? I think one of the books by Madame Blavatsky was this kind of a concept was expressed in it about revering the truth like it's some sort of a god, right? And I worship Tyr, so that makes sense, right? And so the high truth of some of our language matrices, which includes the language matrix for anarchy. I mean, just look at it rationally. I think the main reason why why anarchy can't take off is that it was based on personal truth and not universal truth. Personal truth is that you are a high trust person. You have conducted yourself in honor. You have reasonable self-control. You have a healthy sense of empathy. You have talent in your field, which makes you reliable for getting the job done, and thus getting the job done, and your ability to improve on the job you want to do, and thus improve upon your personal success, which money is the way we quantify value. We quantify value by putting a dollar amount on it, right? Because an ounce of gold doesn't mean shit if you don't know what to do with it. It's just pretty, right? And they don't even want you thinking outside of instrument cables for music. That gold is possibly really, really important to all sorts of alchemical processes that are used in electronics overall. and not just to give you the cleanest electrical connection between your guitar and your amp to your speakers that you've ever fucking heard. So, because we don't know how to shift people from that general infrastructure or operating system of being a fully ensouled and conscious being, people are going to run on automatic programming. They're going to run on the automatics. They're going to be doing stuff. They're going to be like on the collective agreement level. This is why a whole lot of people allowed their entire identity to change and become akin to the Branch Covidians, which is still my one of my favorite terms for these people, right? That were, you know, like the Branch Covidians. They were transformed by everything before they were told to put on a mask. That's why when they put on the mask, they also put on a full goddamn fucking suit. So anyway, and all of that is the mark of a low trust society, right? Because our behavior proved that we're in a low trust society because nobody was acting like they could trust anybody, right? It is by this basic merit, right? My attitude is that I don't trust you to not take this another step further, so I will not take another step. So therefore, I never took a step. I had to be forced to step. But I made sure that it was known that it was forced, that it was against my will, right? You know, sometimes when you're forced to do what you have to do, you also have to make sure you go through protocols. You make sure that you vocally express what it means to you that you're doing this thing they told you to do that you didn't want to do, that you were just arguing with them about doing, right? We wonder, like, so, and I didn't feel like the government had my back, but the government also wasn't fucking there. It was just somebody fucking scared of shit, listening to what everybody else was fucking saying, right? It's just like, you, the protester of this shit, just think they heard it from the news or heard it from their doctor. No, it was a whole thing. It was straight up an absolute whole thing. They were hearing it from all sorts of places. It was the new informed field. It was the new world that they tried to crown upon us. And now we are sitting here. We've rejected that crown, ultimately. But we're still dealing with everybody who accepted the crown, who did not win, but were on the other side, the side that lost, that thought that this world was going to continue forward as such, right? I mean, I suppose the only thing they could fucking do now is release another virus, except do it for real this time, but they don't know that they can do that. The movie Mimic was based on this. They thought they could release a virus and keep it contained. That made, this genetic fucking cockroach thing, cockroach praying mantis human-sized hybrid situation, and think that they could have contained it to its genetic parameters and it wouldn't fucking spread and grow. But it fucking did. Right? Now that's the movies. The movies are, in that respect, we're seeing that it's actually an inversion. Right? They promised us with the first pandemic rollout that a virus was going to go like that. But it didn't. And that's why they had to change the tests. Because they had to lower their standards, as they always like to do. They can't get people to go along with their situation. You got to lower the standards. If you don't lower the standards, you've narrowed your demographic. If you've narrowed your demographic, your target audience is not going to be enough to make up for the sales, for all the money that this fucking ad campaign is costing for this product that you spent $1 million researching in a bio lab that you can have U.S. patents that you can trace for it. Okay, this is all fucking real. So we're a low trust society just by the merit that we don't have agreeable baseline values. That's enough, right? None of it works. None of it works that way. Nobody wants to go through the bloodshed. It is not necessary. It's the escalating language. It's the extremist level of language about it. You have a right to all of your feelings. You ought to have your very rightly placed strong emotions. But you got to keep your rational faculties. You've got to know that. You got to remember that there's also people that you are not angry with that want to hear what you're saying, right? And so put it to you this way. We have to figure out how to get to this maximum freedom, yet still this infrastructure that we call the state that may in fact be your government, your mind control, can exist, perhaps, hopefully, can exist as a state but not a government, so therefore we have an organizing principle to call ourselves a nation, because I in no way, shape, or form can come to terms with being against the idea of nation. Because even though there's such a sameness and a likeness on a human level to all of us, the way that other nations like to be free, like to live their lives, like to establish trust is the word here, in society, it's miserable for other people, okay? You're telling me, you're fucking telling me that in all of these highly oppressive Islamic fucking states that are out there, like with the women and the full hijab situation, which I can't think of something that establishes less trust than having an entire gender of your fucking nation veiled. As the fucking cultural rule of law. But if you look at all the fucking parts of the Muslim world that don't do that, you also realize that fucking not even the fucking Muslims are in accord with Muslim living. Right? You do have fucking liberal Muslims out there. They're kind of hush-hush. Some of them are here as immigrants, because, maybe there's a gay persecution thing going on for them. But you don't really hear that much, so I don't think it's really that. I mean, it's so fucking... It's fucking ridiculous. And we have an imagination in our head of a horror show that these people are going through just because they gotta wake up every day in their nation. And they gotta wake up amongst their family, their friends, their neighbors. Like, if you have a personal sense of the social order of things, so should they. Right? I can't sit here and ruin my life in America and be, and have nobody and nothing, and then use that as a reason to say I'm being oppressed in my country when I'm left to fend for my fucking self, and then beg for fucking Canada to adopt me. And, right? And, no one can say that. Only fucking white people can say that, because right now, because white people are in that fucking position in history right now. And people think it was this easy thing, this easy tyrannical it's some of it was. I'm not dismissing every fucking leftist's claim. Half of the fucking reason I am here is because of claims that are still held by the left that I started under. But anyway, I am going to get to work. What's up, Theo? That's right. I'm like the real groundhog, right? It's just like, the groundhog may tell me when I can take my shirt off, but it ain't official till I feel like I can take my shirt off. All right, I'll catch you guys later.